Hello and welcome to my channel. I recently visited Buenos Aires and I was very impressed and I learned many interesting things and I took some videos. So I would like to share some facts with you. There will be all sorts of different facts about population and the history, and the videos are not really corresponding, but I hope you will enjoy it. So Buenos Aires is the capital of Argentina. It is also the country's largest city. The city lies on a plain covering over 202 square kilometers. The population of the city itself is 3 million people. However, the Buenos Aires metropolitan area is close to 14 million. By the way, there are over 500,000 students in Buenos Aires itself in the metropolitan. There are 20 national and 22 private universities and 12 university institutes. When we look at the history, over 110 years ago, Argentina was very rich and was growing and was pretty incredible. And if you walk through the city, most of the French influence, the architecture is based from that period. So in 1912, Argentina was the seventh wealthiest nation on earth with a per capita GOP bigger than France and Germany. Architecture is eclectic and mostly Parisian. By the way, I was very impressed watching kind of the blend of history and modern architecture. They do really good job keeping the history, keeping the historical architecture touches and adding new ones. After World War One, more money was invested in Europe, so obviously less to Argentina. And then after the stock market crash in 1929, that was a really big blow to economy of Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires port, Puerto Madero, is the biggest one on the continent. When it comes to politics, Buenos Aires is autonomous city. Instead of being ruled by the federal government, they can elect their own mayor. At some point, because Buenos Aires was able to elect their own mayor, they had kind of more freedom to decide where they spend the money. And eventually they spent less money on military and more on public, meaning they developed roads and invested in schools. Money is kind of crazy due to inflation at this point. One American dollar is about 1,000 Argentina pesos, also the same sign as dollar, so it's a little confusing. Counting cash is totally insane. Like you can really very easily confuse 200, 2,000 and 20,000. There are some change that are totally useless. We are laughing hard on it. When it comes to transportation, it's kind of easy to drive around if you're a decent driver and can react fast. The traffic can get a little insane, but most people know how to drive well, and it is well organized. Traffic lights are perfect, directions are posted. However, if you are not feeling comfortable driving, it is very easy to use the underground, which they call subte, so metro. And it is, I believe, the oldest underground in Southern Hemisphere. It is a really good way to get around, and I met lots of people who use it often, and they told me that it's really very safe and clean. However, you can also take taxi and you can take Uber, and Uber is very cheap. I think if you would like to, walk 15, 20 minutes instead, if you pay for Uber, it will cost you about 4,000 Argentina pesos, which is $4. By the way, some of the cars are nice, some of them seems they are falling apart, but the drivers are really good, and it's very easy to get around that way. You just use the app and within 10 minutes Uber will show up. So I would recommend using Uber, plus you're supporting people. So Argentina is still a developed country. However, they have resources that once they figure out how to get them out, they will be rich. Argentina has got 20 million tons of identified lithium reserves, which is worth lots of money. However, they had to come up with a way to get it out without ruining environment, which is proving to be challenging. Buenos Aires has got the highest concentration of pro football teams in the world. I would almost say that soccer is truly an obsession in Buenos Aires, or religion. People do love soccer, people go to many matches, many kids play, and when you walk on the street, you will see many people supporting different soccer teams. And even like walking around and kids would play soccer, it's pretty cool. Buenos Aires is also considered the city of books, with more bookstores per person than anywhere else in the world. They also call themselves that they are thinkers, so Buenos Aires itself is called City of Thinkers. There are also more psychologists per inhabitant than anywhere else. The largest number of theaters in the world is in Buenos Aires. At some point, Buenos Aires economy kind of switched from manufacturing to services, mostly finance and real estate. So when you see the tall skyscrapers, most of them are either apartments or financial offices and real estate. As I mentioned, public transportation is super easy. It's also great to walk or bike around. By the way, walking around the city is incredible because for most parts it's pretty clean, and I definitely love the trees. Every street is lined on both sides with incredible trees. I think Buenos Aires has got tons of green spaces, a large number of green spaces per person. I try to find the exact number, but the numbers are different. But you can definitely, when you look at the map, you can see how many green spaces there are, tons of different parks and plazas, and again, lots of trees. By the way, trees help clearing up the air, but also they help during heavy rains. They say about Buenos Aires that if you don't look it up, it may be gone. So if you have cars, if you are staying somewhere, make sure that you lock your doors and windows. Many apartments actually have kind of cages over windows and doors. It's pretty good safety feature actually. At first you may be kind of intimidated by it, but it is good to have it. Also on the apartment buildings on balconies, they have those cages. I think the idea is also to protect kids from falling down, and so the safety helps as well. Many people have kind of crappy cars, honestly. Those that have nice cars spend good amount of money on them, and they also have them bulletproof. People love their dogs. It almost really seems that after soccer, having dogs is another obsession. However, not everybody picks up after their dogs. So if you are walking the streets, do make sure you look down where you are walking. You can also smell urine in some places. Of course, it depends on area and time of the day and the weather. But yeah, it's something little negative that I observed. Traffic can be really crazy. As I mentioned before, you should be pretty good driver to be comfortable driving around. It can get nuts. There are too many cars too fast and kind of aggressive, or at least I find them aggressive. But many of them are very confident and do a good job and have impressive instincts. By the way, there are many ladies that have fake boobs and fake lips, and as I mentioned, they bleach their hair quite a lot to be blonde. One thing, I didn't verify it, but I heard it from a few different sources, that if you have good insurance company, you are actually allowed to have one plastic surgery a year. The reasoning behind it is that if you are going to feel better about yourself, you are going to be in better mental and physical state. When it comes to guys, I didn't find any like specific man that would be Argentinian guy, but so they come in many shapes and sizes and colors. Men do take care of themselves as well, and they have nice style, really good fashion. And by the way, they are very open to checking out women, looking at women and smiling, but also just looking at women walking by them. If You can often see basically guys checking out women's butts quite a lot. Um, by the way, women also look at other women. It almost seems that they are just checking out their female rivals, or maybe they look with admiration what the other woman is wearing. But it is definitely something that was quite obvious to me in Buenos Aires. That said, I also would like to mention that men in Argentina or Buenos Aires are real gentlemen. It's quite nice to be a woman and be treated like a lady, and I do have to admit that they definitely do it with such ease that it made me feel very comfortable. It was awesome. Going out for dinner means going really after 8 p.m. Often people would say, okay, let's see 8 p.m., and then they change it to 9 p.m. So late evening is no problem. Some places actually, the night life and nightclubs start after midnight. Sometimes they close the restaurant and then they open nightclub in the same place. Some don't even start until 2 a.m. By the way, when I observed like waiting staff, I realized that in many kind of old-fashioned, classy places, there are mostly men who are the wait staff, and apparently it is because being a waitress is a real, considered a real profession. So historically, that was men who work in those places like cafes and restaurants, and you can really see in many places still ages maybe 50, 60 plus wait staff. However, I found very small cafes where they were run by women only. One thing that I realized, so this year, 2025, that in many places they had really cool apron denim denim aprons that were really cool. It almost seems like a fashion. That said, I love denim myself, and I think it's a nice and thick material that works fantastic. When it comes to kind of diversity of people, I guess, you will not see many people from India. You will not see many black people. And I don't think I even saw many Asians, really, Chinese people. And it's kind of interesting how really different. Um, there are lots of just Argentinians people and many darker skinned people coming probably from Peru, maybe Venezuela and other Latin countries. And I definitely pay attention to the fact that real blondes are a minority, 100%. You don't see many blonde ladies or kids. By the way, I'm from Europe, so that's why I'm kind of observing. People love their dogs, as I mentioned. You really see that people bring their dogs everywhere. Um, I think that's about it. I'm probably going to come up with more stuff, but I wanted to share this with you. As I mentioned, and you can see in the videos, there are tons of parks and incredible trees. The old trees are definitely amazing, and I hope you will have a chance to the old ficus trees, right? Some of them are from 18 something, so almost 200 years old, and they are incredible thick. The trunk is amazing. Apparently, you can sleep in there. I didn't climb into one, but I was really, really impressed, especially once again, if I'm coming from North America and Europe, there were so many plants, and what we call tropical house plant, they grow everywhere and they are beautiful. Even on the side of highway, you will see tons of plants that I have one or two in my pot at home. So I hope you will have a chance to visit Buenos Aires. We were lucky that somebody picked us up from the airport, which is maybe 30, 40 minutes from Buenos Aires, from the center. But the transportation apparently is pretty good as well. I didn't really talk much about prices, but I did find most things quite cheap. When it comes to touristy admissions, museums, and parks, they have a great system that they offer, like the Japanese gardens and I think Recoleta. They are free for Argentinian citizens, which I think is a fantastic idea. Why would they pay to learn about their own history? Plus, I would hope that many tourists comes and pay decent prices. I forgot, maybe $16-20. It's not bad for us Americans. I am happy to support these kind of services. Food is all over the place. You really cannot kind of say, but you will eat well for $20-30. But you can also go to very fancy place and you can well spend 5 times that. When it comes to water, I'm used to carrying water bottle with me, but you don't have to because every place has got little corner store and you can buy water for a few dollars. Alcohol is served everywhere in any kind of store, really, and it is served with any food. So you can always have beer, wine anytime during the day in any place. Um, any restaurant, any small cafe will have at least a beer fridge. By the way, people do smoke quite a bit outside, inside still. Nightlife is a big deal here, and seeing kids outside after 10 p.m. is perfectly fine and acceptable. On the contrary, even like little plazas that have open pubs and clubs, they will have little playgrounds so parents can enjoy their drink and watch their kids. I totally support this. I came from Europe and it works fine. People do know how to drink, it seems, and they don't get crazy, hammered, and irresponsible. And it is nice kind of bonding for families with kids. Women take really great care of themselves. Many women are very slim. I think there was some obsession with bulimia and being too slim, but women are also very athletic and really take good care of themselves. They do take care of their makeup and hair too, and you will see many women with really dark hair or bleached hair, or at least that's what I observed. Having a makeup is kind of really sign of status. You will hardly ever see a woman that doesn't have a makeup, and I have to admit they are so pretty. Like, I'm very, very impressed how many classy, pretty women who know how to carry themselves, who dress up like in nice, casual yet fancy way. I was very impressed. I did find everything quite affordable, to be honest with you. Even items. I try not to buy much stuff, but if you're planning to buy any kind of presents, anything to do with mate is great, anything to do with leather, any kind of minerals and gems are fantastic, and of course, silverware. So I would probably I will recommend you to see one of the fairs. Some of them are open daily, some of them are only on weekends. You can check them out. There's fantastic one close to Recoleta. I seen it before. It was big, and now it seemed. I think there were probably over 100 booths at least. It was really incredible. And another fair is in San Elmo. I think that's open only on Sundays. But either way, you can definitely purchase some great items that will remind you Argentina or bring them home as presents, and they shouldn't be expensive. On the other hand, if you go car shopping, they are expensive. Clothing is quite expensive. Food is decent price when you go food shopping in a store. Alcohol is pretty good as well. And of course, whatever you are buying, if you buy local, it is cheaper. So you can buy beer. I've forgotten. I think the Quilmes, that was 1 liter for maybe under $2. Ice cream is amazing, by the way, fantastic. And of course, steaks. Anything to do with meat, you can really taste it. It's amazing. Incredible. And I do hope that you will enjoy a nightlife as well because it's really worth it. This is just, I took a few quick videos and I was impressed. I think that was 11 p.m. So that is in Palermo, in Palermo Soho, Friday or Saturday evening. Tons of people, tons of open places. And by the way, I didn't see anybody going crazy and puking on the street or whatever. Everybody is kind of classy drinkers, people who just go out for a drink to socialize and behave. Really great experience. I hope you will enjoy it. So if you do have chance to go to Buenos Aires, you will definitely not regret it. Everything about it is amazing. I was totally impressed and I recommend you to take a trip and go there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to put in lots of information and it's definitely a great place to go and explore. If you want to learn more about Buenos Aires, I made a bunch of separate videos about different outings and visits, and do check out Colombia because that was amazing. Thanks for watching, and I made